Alright, good people, tonight I'm going to make an eggplant dish. Someone asked me about Bhaigan Bartha, which is a southern Indian type approach. Both of these dishes, Bhaigan Bartha and what's called baba ganoush from a Mediterranean region, are cooked eggplant with tomatoes, tomato sauce type approach. I like both. I like the Southern Indian tradition a little more, and I like my eggplant a little bit sweet when I make that, and so that's the one I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how I do it. It's not the only way to do it, it's just the way that I'm going to do it, why I like it. And we're going to start with cutting up the eggplant and putting it in the oil and cooking the eggplant down first. So let's do this. Okay, so I've cut the eggplant into fairly small cubes, and I put that in a pan. There's olive oil in the bottom of the pan. I'm going to turn the fire on, and then I'm going to add sugar. I'm only going to use natural organic sugar. Pour it over the eggplant like that, and then I'm going to cook this down until it's caramelized. Alright, so it's getting caramelized. It's starting to turn a little brown. I've been on there for about a minute and a half, almost 2 minutes. And what I'm going to do now, I put a little salt in there, just a little bit of salt to bind that sugar and that salt in there with the eggplant. And then I'm just going to add, a little bit of water. And the reason why I'm going to add that water is for that to continue to cook, and for that water to get absorbed by the eggplant, so the eggplant will get soft. Make sure that the outer edge, you notice I didn't take the skin off, so that's to make sure that the eggplant is completely softened. Now let me say this, by the way, you might be saying, man, that's kind of a lot of oil in there, and it is for the eggplant, but you got to remember too, we need good fat, and that's why I'm recommending you use olive oil, so you don't cook this at very high temperature, you keep it down and stew it. But that olive oil is good for you to get into a higher concentration. So even though it's a little oily, you'll notice like a lot of dishes out of Southeast Asia where they use a lot of different types of oils, especially coconut oil, you'll see the food might have a little extra oil in it. But again, this is good fat, so don't worry about that part. Just worry about getting the right type of oil. Alright, let's do this. Alright, now it's cooked down pretty good, so I'm going to add onions, mushrooms, I like a little red pepper. You can have red pepper, green pepper. These are all bell peppers I'm putting in here. And I'm going to add some garlic, and then I'm going to let that cook, and then I'm going to add the other spices. Alright then, I've added garlic, ginger, and some chopped up tomatoes along with my bell peppers, and now I'm going to add a little bit of, this is just tomato sauce. It actually has a little basil in it, but that's good for me. And now I'm going to turn this back on, and then I'm going to add in the rest of the spices, which mainly will be curry powder, quite a bit because I like it with a lot of curry in it. And just a little touch of this product. It's called ACAR or HR masala. It's like a pickled product, pickled pepper product. Just going to add a little bit of that in there, not much. It's a little salty also, but it has an interesting flavor I want to add to it. And now all I have to do is turn this on, cook this up, toss it, and pretty much mash it to whatever level I want to, and we'll be ready to go. Alright then, and the last thing I'm going to add in here is a little bit of this brinjal eggplant relish. I put one or two scoops in depending upon how much I'm going to make. So I'm going to add that in, mix that in. It's all getting soft and a little bit mushy, and like I said, I like mine a little chunkier. I don't want it completely shredded down. Some people shred it all the way down, but I like mine chunky like this. So I'm gonna mix that in. Then it'll be ready. Check for salt, maybe add a little salt. And then I'm just gonna add cilantro on top when it's ready to eat. And that is that, my friends. Now some people don't eat honey. A lot of vegans don't eat honey. But if you're into that vegan diet or vegetarian diet, but you also use honey, which I do, so I added a little bit of honey in there, and now I'm just going to let this cook a little bit longer. I mashed it down to see how soft it was. I'm just going to let it cook a little bit longer, and then it's ready to eat. And there it is, completely with the cilantro added. So I used about a half of an eggplant, not quite, and so that's easily enough for 2 persons for a regular serving. So I'm going to make some rice. I'm going to actually add some Brussels sprouts on the side for my plate, and that's going to be my dinner. So what I have here in this pan to go along with my eggplant is, as I said, I was going to chop up some Brussels sprouts. So there's Brussels sprouts and cauliflower with little onions and other things in there. And the main thing is, I learned this dish from South Africa where they put kind of like a barbecue sauce in the flavor. So I have the barbecue sauce in there with a little oat milk for my gravy, and that's going to be something I'm going to put on top of my rice, or with my rice, with my dish. So that's another thing to try out. Brussels sprouts and a little bit of a good barbecue sauce, natural vegan barbecue sauce, and oat milk and a little salt, and it's a very interesting flavor, a little smoky. It's very nice. Alright, and there we go. We got the eggplant, we got the basmati rice with a little bit of flavor to it, and we got the Brussels sprouts and the cauliflower mix, and I am about to enjoy this meal right here. So that's your eggplant dish, Bhaigan Bartha. Again, you can smash it up if you want to more. I like mine chunky, but I'm about to tear this up. Get in the kitchen, get into it, enjoy yourself. Peace. Bon appetit.